Yahoo Finance is continuing its coverage at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, really talking to a lot of awesome leaders on how AI is transforming their businesses and other initiatives they're working on to transform their companies in the new year. Let's welcome in Honeywell CEO Vimal Kapur. Vimal, good to see you. It was like a year ago I last saw you in person here at the World Economic Forum.
Be with you all the time.
Yeah, look, there's no as many shortage of news around Honeywell, especially since we last spoke. Level set investors, what is the state of Honeywell, and what are you doing to drive shareholder value? Because there is a lot going on.
Yeah, I think the biggest change I'm driving is how we make it a growth-oriented company, and part of that is how we transform our portfolio so that it's naturally pivot towards end markets, products which are growth-oriented, but also change our own capabilities on new product development, innovation, so collectively we can grow at the top quartile. And what work you've seen over the last year and a half is much more work or actively on M&A. We spent nearly $10 billion for 4 acquisitions in 2024. I expect that momentum directionally to continue. We may not spend that level of money, but we'll continue to refresh our portfolio and announce one spin, announce one divestiture of the business, but all that is geared towards growth orientation. What you don't see today is our work on the new products because it's a longer cycle, but I expect that to start getting added, and then we are able to deliver superior performance to our shareholders.
What business are you spinning off, and has it happened yet?
So we are spinning off chemicals business. We announced that in October of 24. And the thesis there is that when I came in, the very first thing I said, I want to build Honeywell on 3 pillars. We talked about it last time: aviation, energy transition, and automation. And chemical business was not a fit there. So the business by itself is outstanding. It has a huge growth potential. It's a specialty chemical business with its own play. And I think it's fair for us to give it its own space.
We've seen these changes or portfolio changes that, I think back to General Electric a couple of years ago. Why do you think the market doesn't assign conglomerate companies the multiples it used to?
I think the market evolution occurs all the time, and if your results keep coming, I don't think market cares much about your conglomerate or not. And there are many companies or peers who also have multiple businesses, but their performance have been top quartile. So I think the discussion becomes more visible when your performance is more in the median. And our growth has been, we have done well over the last few years, but not top quartile, which was our historic performance. And when you go away from your history, then discussion starts happening. So I think it's a more a factor of your financial performance. Markets love numbers going up. Markets love that.
Everybody, especially investors, they love that stuff.
Numbers going down, your discussion point come in. There could discussion about leadership, discussion about your portfolio, conglomerate. So I think they're less about markets like or what they don't like. I think they want a consistent and coherent performance, which I fully understand. I think that's a driver.
The businesses that remain, does it make sense to still have them under one umbrella? Like, what are the synergies with them?
I mean, the synergies for us in Honeywell is a common operating model, which both my predecessor built over many, many years. A common operating system, multiple organizations which we leverage across Honeywell: product development, our software development organization, government relations. So it's a vast array of capabilities on operating system we have created, which we all collectively use, and we generate value, as is evident from performance of our multiple businesses. Margins have grown Honeywell from mid-single digit 15 years back to high 20s. So our processes and operating system works, but everything at a certain point gets mature, and there's an opportunity to relook at things, which I think is a fair question. And we have said in the public that we will look at our portfolio discussion seriously and come back to the shareholder what's in best interest of everyone.
Have you concluded that the aerospace business should be spun off?
We will, this is under review with the board, and during our earnings call, we have promised that we'll provide an update on that.
Honeywell's an iconic company going back to the late 1800s. Is it hard to unwind that history, or is that just the wrong way to be thinking about it?
I'm proud of where Honeywell is. I think the Honeywell history is...
They go back to thermostats. I know I'm not making these now.
Yeah, that's right.
1800s.
Yeah, I mean, look, the products we do, they are going to be meaningful even 50 years from today, because the things we are doing, they are required by the planet. Playing in aviation, making sure that our planes are able to travel safely, the energy transition. We are deeply into core energy, new energy, automation, which is part of our life. What gives me a confidence is that 20 years from now, 40 years from now, Honeywell offerings are here to stay because we are in a long impact segments. So there's no reason we won't see Honeywell and its offering and its people all around.
I remember you told me a year ago that when we talked, you've embraced this shareholder value. I remember you saying that things could be on the table. You know, it's a focus of yours. You seem like you've embraced Elliott, the activist investor. Like, what does that firm bring to the table, and what do they want? What do they push you to do? Because it seems like you've embraced things that they may be bringing to the table.
I would say shareholder engagement is a work of every CEO. So I look at them as another share owners. We meet with all share owners and they are one of them. And it's my job to understand their perspective and then build that perspective on a holistic basis. And that's what we are doing. So they have a point of view. We may or may not agree with them. But my job is to engage with them and understand and explain our point of view to them. And then take it back to the board to say, here are the range of options. Because I see my job like somebody coming to a restaurant telling you what are the range of options and make my recommendations, but I don't make the decision finally. It's a collective decision which the board has to make.
Is there any resolution near with them?
Any resolution?
When do they leave? When are they done with Honeywell?
I can't opine on that. I mean, this is not something which I'm familiar with. Yeah.
Other topic too, of course, here at the Promenade is innovation. And I remember talking to you when you were leading the building side of the portfolio. What has really blown you away in terms of innovation here at Davos?
I would say the trick is going to be, as AI is the most topical point here, second in a row, that how do we bring AI in the industrial world? Because we talk about more of AI in terms of generative AI or agents-based AI, more in the concept of consumers and how we all consume it. But we make products which are very, very mission critical. And how do we bring AI into our space? That's something which excites me a lot, because we are really linking that with the problem our customers have, which is lack of skills. Because our products are very sophisticated to use. Our industry use people with experiences, 20 years, 30 years kind of people for operating those products, maintaining those products. But as those people are retiring, the new people are coming, have less experience and don't have that kind of exposure. So AI could be a good substitute to provide that extra help, the agents, so-called digital agents, helping a less experienced person to become as experienced a person who was retiring. And that to me is fascinating because it's giving customer a solution to a very imminent problem which is ahead of them. So we started with the use of generative AI tools about 18 months back. A lot of our technical support is highly valued by our customer. Our typical technical support person will have 25, 30 years experience. So I also can't generate a lot of those people, but if I can reduce their work, it's very high value for us and for our customers. So generative AI provided these tools to our people and to our customer, by which a lot of questions were being answered because AI could observe, this has happened before, this is how it was resolved, and that productivity is massive for us. And that's how we started. And now we are moving to agent-based system to incorporate them into our products, so that, to my earlier point, the more productive people, we can make people more productive.
I've been able to have some cool conversations on Stargate. It's still developing the AI infrastructure fund from the Trump administration. How do you think AI will change critical infrastructure in the U.S.?
I would say the AI is going to have a versatile role like any other technology which will spread across multiple segments. I can just offer you my point of view from a Honeywell perspective, because we see AI getting into all the segments we really play. And the most common denominator is using it for better operational efficiency for ourselves and for our customers. I think on the infrastructure side, I would say where Honeywell also has a role to play is that AI requires more energy. I know there's more and more discussion on that. I mean, there could be a scenario that AI is limited by energy availability more than anything else. Maybe the software is very capable, but there's not enough power resources available to stand up a data center. And energy policy and developing that and making sure that all energy sources are available. We are able to solve energy security issue, emissions issue, cost issue. It's a very interesting problem to solve. So that to me is part of the infrastructure, point which you referred earlier.
I have convinced myself, Vimal, that an AI robot will take my job. I don't know when. I would like to think I'm unique, but maybe I'm not.
Look, the human judgment going away probably won't happen in our generation. I think anytime any new technology come, there's a hype factor of the technology. And here the hype factor has become more around replacement of skills. But at least in domains we serve, the human judgment is always going to be the final call. There is no scenario we can have a plane running autonomously, a 0% scenario.
I will not be on that plane.
Yeah, correct. A plant running, no way. But can we make pilots more productive by agents? Yes. Will be more safer? Yes. Will that result into cockpit having one pilot? Highly possible. This is required because there are less pilots available. So we're really looking at it as more as a problem solving on what's ahead of industrial sector. But will agent replace human? I personally don't think in my lifetime it's going to happen. Will it eventually happen? I don't know.
All right, I'm reassured. Let's leave it there. Honeywell CEO Vimal Kapur, always good to see you. Safe travels back.
Safe.
Appreciate it.
Always pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.